Weight loss meal planning. Wouldn't it be fantastic if we could just follow those meals we see on Instagram, Facebook or TikTok, and the weight would just drop off and we'd always stick to our healthy meal plans and everything would be wonderful? Well, we know that the reality of life kind of collides with those perfect meal plans. So you've got the perfect meal plan with the imperfect lifestyle. Typically we'll have everything planned out. If you do plan, hopefully you are planning. And then suddenly maybe you get the phone call from a parent saying they need to go to a doctor's appointment, and before you know it, that day of healthy eating goes completely out the window. You end up grabbing something or buying something or eating a meal that someone's prepared for you that wasn't quite what you'd planned to eat. If you find yourself in that situation, which many of us do, then hopefully this training video will help you to give you some practical steps that you can take to help you to be able to remain consistent, keep the weight coming off regularly, build your confidence, and eventually get to where you want to get to with your weight loss. Now, if you want to go a little bit deeper on this topic of weight loss, there should be a link around this video to a free masterclass that I've done, which will share with you how you can drop 2 to 3 dress sizes in the next 90 days without having to count calories or spend hours exercising every day. And you can find that link around this video. Click on that and it's free to watch. I go through a variety of case studies of clients who have lost 2 stone, 3 stone, 5 stone or more using some of the information I'll be sharing right here in this training video. So let's get into the practicalities of it then. So here we are. You're planning your meal. It's all lined up. You've got a healthy breakfast, healthy lunch, healthy evening meal. But then life hits and you're knocked off course. So what can we do practically to mitigate against us being knocked off course regularly? When I served in the armed forces, if we were on guard duty and somebody pulled up at the main gate with a bomb in a vehicle, not that it happened very often, but if it did, the corporal would ring the sergeant, the orderly sergeant would ring the orderly officer, who would then contact bomb disposal. They'd come along and they'd deal with the situation. Why do I share that story with you? Because it was so infrequent that that would happen, but if it did happen, we had a plan of action, so we weren't running around like headless chickens. We knew what to do. We had SOPs, standing order procedures. And you can take a similar kind of approach to how you go about planning for weight loss with your meals. So what do I mean by that? Well, what's the first thing that you can do for meal planning for weight loss? Well, where you have the time, you can pre-plan ahead of time. Maybe prep your lunches, prep your evening meals. I had one client who used to prep her salads for the week in Kilner jars. Now, granted, you may not be a salad eater, but this is just an example of what somebody did. So she'd prep her salads for Monday right the way through until Friday, all chopped up. She'd have the dressings in a separate pot, and then the protein of her choice, be it meat or fish or a vegetarian option, that would be in a little container to one side. So when she woke up in the morning, she'd literally open the fridge, reach in, pull out the Kilner jar and the serving of salad dressing and the meat or the protein sauce in a bag and off to work. And I think she used to put it in the fridge at work. So that was planning ahead. And that meant that whatever happened during the course of the day, she knew she was going to have a healthy lunch, regardless of what happened. Now, if you can do that, fantastic. Maybe you can't do that. Maybe what you could do instead is plan your evening meals, where you can prep them on a Sunday, for example. I had one client, her name's Joy. Her and her husband, Mike, I think his name was, they'd take a Sunday, kind of like half a Sunday, to prep maybe 2 or 3 weeks worth of evening meals. They had a great big chest freezer. They'd pop them, label them, pop them in there, and then just pull them out on the morning of, and then as they defrost out the course of the day, when it came to the evening meal, boom, it was all ready for them. So that's one thing that you can do, which is plan ahead. Now, I appreciate that life might be so crazy busy that you find it difficult to do that sort of planning ahead. So what are some of the other alternatives that you can put in place? Because look, the type of things that happen to people are, and things that have happened to my clients have been, they've got all these meals planned out, or the meal planned out for the day, and then suddenly out in the blue they get a phone call from, let's say, a parent that needs to go for a doctor's appointment or a hospital appointment that wasn't planned. And then before they know it, instead of eating that healthy day's worth of food, they find themselves grabbing something, buying some rubbish food maybe, or eating a meal that's not particularly healthy, that's being cooked by maybe your significant other who's maybe not quite on the plan. So what can you do in that situation to mitigate against that happening? Well, here are some practical things that you could do that may not be gold standard. In fact, I know they're not gold standard, but they can be your SOPs, your standing order procedures if things go a little bit haywire. And I've recommended to clients that maybe they should have protein bars possibly, and you can make your own protein bars, by the way, or they could have a meal replacement on standby which you can mix with water. And whilst these things are not gold standard, what they will do is keep you on track, and they're very, very portable. So if you find yourself in a situation where you can't even go and buy something healthy, then at least if you've got your protein bars or your meal replacements that you mix with water, you've got something there that's going to keep you on track. And it really is important when you're trying to lose weight that you stay on track as much as you can. Yes, there'll be times when you can't. You know, there are times when I've had to lose weight in the past and I've not always stayed 100% on track because I've just been caught out. But where possible, that was very infrequent, and that's what I try and teach my clients, is to have a plan for something unexpected so that you can stay on course. Is it 100% foolproof? Of course it isn't. But if you can get sort of 70-80% of the time where you can stay on track, that's where you're going to get the consistency. That's where you're going to start seeing the weight coming off consistently, and that's where you're going to build the confidence and belief that you can actually do this. So there's just a few simple insights into the sort of things that I teach my clients. Nothing particularly glamorous about though, or particularly exciting. These are the things that people do behind the scenes that are maybe not spoken about on Instagram or Twitter or Facebook or any of the social media platforms. What we tend to see there, again, are these perfect meals, full colour, people, you know, big smiles on their faces, chucking into healthy food. But the reality is, it certainly has been for my clients, that that's not always the case. Sometimes they're quite literally sat in a doctor's surgery or a hospital area just drinking a protein shake or eating a protein bar. Not anything glamorous, not particularly exciting, and not something you want to post on Instagram. But these are the realities of the sort of things you need to plan for if you are going to stay consistent. Hopefully you found that of some use. If you do have any questions at all or any comments, then feel free to reach out to me with them. More than happy to answer them. And don't forget, there is a link around this video where you can click on to watch my free masterclass, how you can drop 2 to 3 dress sizes in the next 90 days without having to count calories, spend hours exercising every day, or trying to be 100% perfect. So until next time, take very good care, and bye for now.